Hello Math 115, this is video 5 for chapter 10. I'm sorry things always take longer than I think they're going to when I'm recording. So continuing on our study of polar form of complex numbers, we're going to pursue the rules for arithmetic operations at addition, subtraction, and division. So for addition and subtraction, unlike rectangular, when you could simply add together the like terms, and I'll show a contrast in a minute. In polar, you must convert your polar form of your complex numbers rectangular, and then once you have added or subtracted in rectangular form, you're going to then, oh joy, convert back to polar. So let's take example 1 here, where we're being asked to add two complex numbers in polar form. Radius 3, angle 15 degrees, r of 2, angle 40 degrees. You've got to convert each one. So remember, to convert, you want to get them into a plus bi form, and your a is going to come from the magnitude times the cosine of the angle. The b is going to come from the magnitude times the sine of the angle. So I'm going to go ahead and set those up for both conversions, because again I have to convert them before I add them. 2 cosine 40 and b equals 2 sine 40 degrees. So for my first a I get 2.9. Calculator, for my b I get 0.8, let's call it 0.8. For 2 cosine 40, I get 1.5, and for the b value, I get 1.3. So putting these together as rectangular form, I get 2.9 plus 0.8. Let's use j, and we were told to add, and we're going to put together the rectangular coordinates of the second number. Now you're going to combine like terms. 2.9 and 1.5 gives you 4.4, and 0.8 and 1.3 gives you 2.1 j. So this is your answer in rectangular form. You would have been asked typically to find the answer in polar form. So you're now going to need to take this representation and convert it into polar. And remember how we do that. This is in essence your x, this is in essence your y, and you're going to find that your r value equals the square root of your x squared, which is 4.4, and your y value squared, and then you're going to take the square root of that, and you're going to find your theta by doing tangent inverse of your y value over your x value. So plugging into my calculator, I find that the length is 4.9 and the angle is 25.5, and you could write that as 4.9 and then your angle symbol 25.5 degrees. All of that just to add or subtract two complex numbers that happen to be in polar form. Now in another video I'll show you how to do this on your calculator, but you will be expected to do this at least once by hand. Now how about multiplication and division? This is really good news here. There couldn't be anything simpler for doing multiplication and division in polar. So let me give you an example. If you wanted to take 15 and an angle measure of 40 degrees and multiply it by another complex number that has length of 2 and angle measure of 10 degrees, you get to multiply the magnitudes and add the angle measures. So multiply the magnitudes and add the angle measures. And we could explore more. The book does a pretty good job of showing how if you've done it in rectangular form and you add, that you end up with you multiply. If you do it in rectangular form and you multiply, that you end up with the equivalent of that value as well. So just be sure you multiply the magnitudes, add the angles. So what do you think would happen for division? Well, it's pretty similar. So here's an example for division. Let's say you had the value 30 for magnitude and the angle measure was 75 degrees. And your other complex number was represented by magnitude 15 and angle measure, let's say 30 degrees. You get to literally divide the magnitudes and subtract the angle measure. So 30 divided by 15 is 2, and 75 minus 30 would deliver an angle measure of 45 degrees. So again, whether you're multiplying or you're dividing in polar form of a complex number, it's much easier. Much easier than in rectangular, where you had to FOIL, and in division you had to use the conjugate. So I'm going to try to create a little table for you that summarizes how to do these operations. So here we go. Here's my attempt at a chart to summarize the first part of the chapter for complex number operations, and then the second part of the chapter involving polar form of a complex number. For rectangular form, if you were adding or subtracting two complex numbers in rectangular form, you could just combine the like terms using addition or subtraction depending on what the operation was. In polar, on the other hand, you have to convert to rectangular and then add or subtract in rectangular form and then convert back to polar. So this is involved. This is easy. When multiplying in polar, we just found that you get to multiply the R values and then add the angle measures. That sounds pretty easy, and it is easy. In rectangular, you have to FOIL and then simplify. So again here, this is more effort. I'm going to use double stars so we don't get that confused with multiplying. More effort. You have to FOIL and you have to simplify at the end, but it's not bad. In polar, when you go to divide, we just saw you get to divide the R values and then subtract the angle measures. That's pretty easy. In rectangular, you have to multiply by the conjugate and then simplify fully. So that's more involved as well there. So here you have a chart, doesn't exist like this in the book, that summarizes those operations. If you're interested in the book's discussion of how to add or subtract complex numbers in polar, you can go to number 79 on page 458, where it discusses converting to rectangular, performing the addition or subtraction, and then converting back. So let's do some more practice and show some special cases. This is page 460, number 87. Some practice with multiplication in polar form and then having to convert to rectangular. So let's show, for example, A. If you're multiplying in polar form, remember that you get to multiply the magnitudes and simply add the angles. So in this case, 10 times 5 we know is 50, and this is going to deliver an angle, though, of 40 plus negative 40, which is 0 degrees. So where does that fall on the rectangular a plus bi rectangular coordinates? Well, you have a magnitude of 50 but 0 degrees. So that puts you out here at 50 in essence, right? And that's going to be 50 in the x direction and 0 in the I or the j direction. So you'd write that as 50 plus 0j, or you could drop this piece. Let's do another one. Let's just do C. Okay, so we're going to multiply these two. 3 times 8 we know is 24. 220 plus 50 is 270 degrees. Well, where does that fall? 270 degrees, remember, falls down here. And so that's going to be negative 24 in the j direction or the y direction, but 0 in the x direction. So that converts to 0 minus 24j. Now I'm going to work some additional problems with you to help you with the thought process on how you approach problems. So self-test 35, page 461. We've got some problems where we're provided complex numbers in rectangular form and we have to go to polar. And then we're going to be provided some in polar where you have to go to rectangular. This is where I start. I start with polar, writing down that that's r comma theta that I need to get to. And I know that r can be found by taking a squared plus b squared and taking the square root. And then I recall that theta can be found by doing tangent inverse, and you want the y value, which is b, over a, and make sure you end up in the correct quadrant. Okay, so we're going to pick one. Let's pick number 2. So r equals the square root. Stuffing them in my calculator, I get that r equals 67 when rounded to a whole number, and that theta equals negative 55 degrees. So we can write that as 67 angle measure negative 55 degrees, or you could also use the equivalent of positive 305 degrees. So 67 and 305 degrees. Now let's pick one of the rectangular form ones. I'm going to try 5. So you want to find a plus bi. You've been given r and you've been given theta. So recall that your a is the same as cosine. So that's r cosine, whatever your angle is, and your b is going to be r sine of theta. So in this problem, number 5, my r is my first value, 0.863, and my theta is negative 73 degrees. So to find a, I've got 0.863 times cosine of negative 73. For b, I've got the same thing but times sine, and I get the values shown here, and then I put those together in the a plus bi format. So 0.252 for a minus 0.825 j or I for your complex number in rectangular form. Now I'm going to do one more problem that involves division, page 463, 94. And I'm going to do A. So note the instructions to convert any negative angle that's beyond negative 180 to a positive angle. So reminder, when dealing in polar form, if you have to divide, it's easy. You get to divide the lengths and subtract the angles. So 40 divided by 8 yields 5, and 100 take away 330 yields an angle of negative 230 degrees. But your instructions are to convert this. So let's try to draw a sketch. Negative 230 takes us somewhere there. So we want this angle here. Take 360 minus 230, that yields 130 degrees, and here's your final answer. 5 angle 100.